So, hi everyone, this is Michelle Teberge, and I'm so excited to bring Tesia Blackburn to you. We've known each other a while. She's an amazing artist. She also has taught acrylics and has an expertise in acrylics as I do. We met because she has taught as a working artist for Golden for many years, and I did the same for Liquitex, and we would run into each other or hear of each other. So when I finally got to meet her, of course, she met all the expectations. Everyone had said she was so great. And so I wanted to bring her to you today for a couple of reasons. Number one, she's got a book that she wrote. Do you want to show the book really quickly?
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
and we're going to talk a bit about her book. And I really, really love this book. It's different than I thought it would be. It's basically a course in a book, which I really like. You can jump in even I feel like if you've never painted before and just pull out the book and
Definitely.
invite friends over and have the most amazing painting fun with her instructions and photos and stuff like that. And so it is different than mostly the acrylic technique books that I've seen before that are more based on techniques and maybe you've already had a little painting experience. This Now Tisa has a deep expertise, so she is an acrylic expert, but at the same time she has these amazing fun playful exercises that anyone at any level could do. So I wanted to bring her to you for that reason, and also I just found out she's now teaching live on YouTube, so we'll link all that stuff below. So you can learn about that and find out how you can jump into her classes. But first, let me just tell you a little bit about her. Tisa's originally from Shreveport, Louisiana,
I'm a
and
Southern girl.
yeah, and I was interested to learn that, she moved around a lot as a kid, and she's lived in Texas, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Oregon. Now, so she's mostly kind of like Southern and West, and I was
Yeah.
more kind of Midwest and East Coast, with a small stint in California. She attended high school in New Mexico, and then she moved to San Francisco. So she, as I said, has been a working artist for Golden Artist Colors. She also, in 2002, signed with Next Monet to produce prints of several of her paintings. So maybe we can get a link for that, Tisa, that you could
Yeah,
send so people can see your work. And obviously, we'll link your website and so forth.
sure.
Um, and she has a BFA from the Academy of Art, and she studied lithography at the Art Institute in San Francisco. And I should say San Francisco Art Institute because there is an Art
Right.
Institute of it's a very different institution.
Yeah.
And she has her Master's of Art from the John F. Kennedy University in Orinda, California. So she's super experienced, highly educated, and still amazingly fun. Not that those things can't go hand in hand, right?
Right.
um, so I have some questions for you, Tisa, and then I'll also I'm sure there might be little things that you want to add in. So
Sure, sure, sure.
um,
Well, thank you so much for having me, Michelle. It's great. I mean, I actually refer tons and tons of people to your YouTube video about the worst mistake acrylic painters can make. The one with the underbinding in the water.
yeah.
I make every one of my students watch
Oh,
that. I make everybody
wow.
watch it. It's
Oh,
perfect.
that's
I'm so glad
fantastic.
you did that, so I didn't have to.
Yeah. I
Right?
know, and it's one of those things that it's the one of the very earliest videos I made, and the video quality is not that great, and I'm not that great on camera, and it's like, should I remake that video? But
No,
like,
no, no, it's perfect. The material is great. It's
yeah.
it's yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Um, so I want to get a little bit of your story. I mean, we got the quick overview, but how did you get into art? Were you, an artistic child? Yeah, just give us a little bit of your background as a creative person.
Well, I've been painting since I was in elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been playing music since I was my guitars are right here.
Mm.
I've been playing music since I was in elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, they don't always go hand in hand, but I think oftentimes they do. I think music and visual arts oftentimes goes hand in hand. But they thought that I was going to, like my family and school teachers and stuff like that, they thought I was going to pursue music as a career. And that's actually, I was given a scholarship to the University of New Mexico to study music. And I said,
Wow.
no, I don't want to. I'll just play music, but I don't want to and moved to California. I was a young military wife, and I moved to California. And after that period of my life ended, the marriage and whatnot, I stayed in California and pursued a visual arts career and visual art training. And it really, I had been painting all along. I'd been painting since I was about 11. And painting and playing music. And so at some point when I had to decide which one I was going to pursue as a career, I had to choose. And so I chose visual art. And so my guitar was on the shelf for, 20 years. And recently I brought it back. So now I'm doing both again.
Nice.
But I'm really happy with the choice that I made.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Really happy. Having a full-time job or having a job and pursuing a career, it's tough. I mean, it is really tough. And you just have to realize that, unless something is really extraordinary, you may have two jobs for a very, very long time. I had two jobs for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so, I was a super temp. I mean, and a million of my friends in art school, we all got temp jobs, and people worked in restaurants and stuff like that. But, we made it work. We just made it work because we wanted to. You have to have that drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you probably have a similar story. Everybody I know.
Yeah, so many different jobs. Well, I always had all these different multiple teaching jobs,
Yeah.
But it's part of who I am too.
I mean, when you love what you do, when you're passionate, as you are, as I am, when you're passionate about it, and you see what an impact it makes on people. I mean, you've probably had this happen in your classes or with mentoring people. You see people just, they get it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they get it. And you've like witnessed this life-changing moment. I mean, honestly, I don't know why everyone in the world isn't a teacher. It's like so good.
Yeah. It's an honor and a privilege. Yep.
It really is.
So this is kind of an open-ended question. What's the most important thing to you about making art?
Oh boy. What's the most important thing? Well, I think following my own, listening to my own curiosity, and following my own passions.
Yeah.
I've never been an artist who started, with, let's say, landscape and did landscape for 20 years. I'm always curious. And I think for me, that's the most important thing. I was just talking to my partner. I'm going to start painting plein air again.
Oh, wow.
Have I been hit on the head, or what happened? Well, one of my students that I mentor online asked me to show her how to paint like Monet. And so I pulled out some old stuff and some oils and whatnot, and I started doing, and I was like, oh, I love this. I haven't done this in, 20 years.
Wow.
I love this.
Yeah.
And my passion for it was just reborn. And so here I am, an abstract painter, I'm an abstract painter, and I'm like now getting all excited about spots to paint and the green of the foliage and all this stuff. So I think what's really important for me is to follow my passion.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
Yeah.
it's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then if the public likes it, if other people like it, then that's great too.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, but that's not the driving force for me.
Right. Yeah.
It's never been the driving force,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And it probably hasn't been for you either.
Yeah, and I think that's the secret to a sustainable creative life is that you are engaged in it and getting so much out of it that whatever happens outside, whether your work is appreciated and well received or not, that you have that inner call forward toward it, and
Yeah.
and that you're not swayed by like waiting for something to like, you know, tap you on the head and be like, yes, you've done well, you know,
Yeah.
like that.
Or exactly, or that something like selling work is some sort of level of it's a litmus test for success.
Yeah. Yeah.
That if you sell work and you
Mhm.
you know sell high priced work or whatever, that somehow that's success. Now
Yeah.
that is a certain kind of success,
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily the success I'm looking for.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think, you know, we probably agree on this idea that for me, it's almost as though the process is more important than the end result.
Yeah.
Although I like it when the end result looks great and I fall in
Mhm.
love with that too. But there's
Mhm.
something about that bliss moment.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
Yeah. It
I
just,
could just live there forever.
I know, it keeps you coming back for more.
I know. And you know, it's so great because, you know, you get to it's renewable. It's a renewable resource.
Yeah.
It never goes away. It never runs out.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
And
it's
I
pretty
think
good stuff.
in the end, when people are searching for that exterior success, they're looking for that bliss that's already there in the process.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I have a little series on YouTube, my little success talks, and I talk about stuff like
Yeah.
this. And yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
totally on the
Yeah.
same page with you about that.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice you would offer to someone who's just now getting started with making art? Or I often get people who dropped it for many years and are coming back. So either
Mhm.
one, someone who's,
Brand
um,
new or
yeah, or coming back after many years of not following that passion of theirs.
well, you know, I think you and I have probably seen a lot of the same demographic, the
Mm-hmm.
same type of individual in our
Mm-hmm.
classes and workshops and lectures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, for people that are returning to art or that are coming to art for the first time in and we're going to call them the mature learner. I love that term, the mature learner.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is that you've got a lot of life experience, you've done some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing that's most important about that, and what I like to tell people when they're coming into an art situation is an art class, is to take your life experience, take the things you already know,
Mm-hmm.
and translate them into what you're doing in the classroom. So,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, design skills or
Mm-hmm.
color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I use this one a lot. Like, for instance, if I have someone that comes into class, never taken color theory in their life,
Mm-hmm.
but if I give them my shirt
Mm-hmm.
and tell them to go to Nordstrom's and get me a scarf that matches it,
Mm-hmm.
they can do it bang on every
Totally.
time.
Yep.
Totally. And
Mm-hmm.
that's color theory in a nutshell.
Yep.
So, you know, I think that and design, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like how they arrange their furniture or how they put out the Thanksgiving table or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people don't give themselves enough credit for
Yeah.
these life skills
Yep.
that are so vitally important
Mm-hmm.
to what we do, you know,
Yes.
to what we
Yes.
as artists do. So there's a lot of that stuff that I would say, you know, advice coming to art
Mm-hmm.
from, you know, maybe you've had another career, if you raised a family or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Boy, you've got a lot of experience and a lot of information to share,
Mm-hmm.
and you should trust your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Trust
Nice.
your gut.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Because in the end, I think, you know, it's all well and good to make a painting that, you know, your grandmother's going to like.
Mm-hmm.
But in the bottom line, I think is you've got to love what you do and regardless of what anybody else says,
Yeah.
you have to love what you do. So if you like it and you want to put two squares next to a purple dot and you're happy with it,
Mm-hmm.
I say rock on,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because that's what it's all about, you
Yeah.
know?
Totally.
Yeah, yeah. So now beginning artist, just really quick, I would say that I would look at some of the great artists that didn't have any formal training, like Van Gogh, springs
Mm-hmm.
to mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about Van Gogh that I think is super valuable is that he followed his passion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's his passion drove him.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he wasn't the best draftsman, and maybe he couldn't draw, pears as well as someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But his work, if you look at his work, as you well know,
Mm-hmm.
his work is full of passion,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't teach that.
Right.
That can't be taught.
Yeah.
So if you bring your passion to it, whether you're a beginner or a more mature learner, your passion is going to carry you, and just trust your gut.
Yeah. Great advice. I love it.
Yeah.
So, I just want to ask you really quickly about your book. Maybe
Yeah.
you could just share one of your favorite parts in the book, maybe one of your
Oh,
favorite exercises or projects.
that is so easy.
Okay.
My favorite one in here is what I call the lizard brain.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my students the other night called it the dragon brain. I really like that too. Dragon brain, lizard brain. But it's basically blind contour drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the idea of getting outside of your executive brain
Mm-hmm.
and things that have to look a certain way and all this other stuff. And the idea of doing blind contour drawing, and your viewers can Google that,
Mm-hmm.
blind contour drawing. And once you start doing that, once you see that way,
Mm-hmm.
you'll never not be able to see that way again.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah.
It's magical.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely the chapter in here is called Letting the Brain Play.
Okay. Nice. Well, it's probably time to wrap it up.
Okay.
Any last little words or thoughts or things you want to share that you've got going on? Or
I think everyone's creative.
mm-hmm.
I think everyone has the creative gene. I don't think that you or I have some sort of special thing that no one else has.
Right.
I think everyone has it.
Mm-hmm.
I think all that my job is as a teacher and a mentor is to just help unlock the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say no matter where you are or who you are, that you can be an artist and really own it and be an artist. And no matter whether you're drawing something this big or it's mural sized, your passion, your creativity, all of those things are available to everyone. And, the more artists we have in this world, the better off we are.
I agree. That's so beautifully put. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I want everyone to hear that message and really take it in, because I think for a lot of people, they may have liked to do it but thought they weren't any good at it, or they see someone like you or I who've been doing it for longer and think, oh, well, that's them, that's not me. But it's not true.
Right.
Anyone who feels that in their heart can claim that and
absolutely
and be that. And as I was listening, I just started taking piano recently, and
how exciting!
Yeah, it's so fun, and I'm like writing songs, and I'm so excited about it and having the best time. And I was taking your words in for me as a piano player, because I know what that feels like to sort of be new and feel like it's sort of like I feel like I got the my teacher is really wonderful and very sweet and encouraging, and also super skillful and experienced painter. I mean piano player, musician, and I feel like I'm here. I've got these ideas, these creative ideas, and I have these big, thick kindergarten, preschool crayons, and I'm trying to draw something with them, and I can. and he's got the brushes and all the colors, and like he played one of my compositions yesterday or last lesson, and it just like made me cry because he took it and he had the skill, and it inspired me so much that all I wanted
Isn't
to
that
do was play
amazing?
piano. So anyway, I guess I just so I felt the truth in your words, and I hope everyone else listening to this does too. That
Yeah,
that you are being supported by you and I and the forces of the universe in your creative pursuit, um,
absolutely.
and the fact that you're
Absolutely.
listening to this is just awesome. And keep going, yay!
Yay. Well, I just, one tiny little note on that. There's a wonderful little book by Suzuki Roshi. I don't know if
hmm
you've read it or not. It's called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, I love that book. I love
Hmm
my copy's all dog-eared. And one of the things that he says, one of the things is that you always have to have beginner's mind.
Yeah.
You always have to have a beginner,
hmm
be a beginner. And so I've told some of my students, my beginning students in class, they will come in and they will do something, and I'll actually see them go, "Oh, look what I did."
hmm
And I tell them like, "Oh gosh, I would love to be able to see like that
hmm
on canvas again." To have
hmm
that surprise again, to be
Yeah.
a beginner, to be fresh, and to
Yeah.
have something surprise me like it just did surprise you.
Yeah.
So beginner's mind, oh, I
hmm
love beginner's mind.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone should have beginner's mind all the time. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, yeah.
Great. We'll link that book below too if people
Oh,
haven't
yes.
found it
Oh,
yet. Yeah.
that's an
That's great.
awesome book. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm so grateful for you taking the time to speak
Oh,
with us, and I'm very excited.
let,
And I just think I recommend you as a teacher. I haven't taken your classes myself, but I know you as a person. I've read your book, and um, since I'm not teaching, I want people to have a place to go, and I think you would be a wonderful home for people
thank
who
you.
want to
Thank
who
you.
want to have a teacher to work with right now. So.
Well, I do want to say I forgot to mention Creative Flow,
Mm-hmm.
which is the YouTube class on Thursday
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah.
That is very much what we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
with more meditative music
Yes.
and, beginner's mind, and
Mm-hmm.
I am really loving it. So we can link to it in the
Yes, for sure.
notes as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay, great. Yay.
Yay!
Okay, well, thank you so much, Tisa.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate the
Thank
time.
you.
Okay, take care.